Two trains 100 kilometers apart travel towards each other on the same track. One train travels at 40 kilometers per hour, the other travels at 60 kilometers per hour. A bird starts flying at a speed of 90 kilometers per hour at the same location of the faster train. When it reaches the slower train, it turns around and flies in the opposite direction at the same speed. When it reaches the faster train, again it turns around and so on. When the two trains collide, how far has the bird flown? Alright, so the question is telling me that there are two trains and they are 100 kilometers apart. Okay, this is train A, this is train B. They are both moving towards each other on the same track and now they are 100 kilometers apart. One train is traveling at 40 kilometers per hour, so we are given the speed of train A, which is 40, and other travels at 60, so speed of train B here is 60. A bird starts flying at a speed of 90 kilometers per hour. So there is some bird and the speed of that bird is 90 kilometers per hour at the same location. Okay, so a bird starts flying at the same location of the faster train. So now what is the question saying further? When it reaches the slower train, it turns around and flies in the opposite direction at the same speed. When it reaches the faster train, again it turns around and so on. So the concept behind this question is, what is it trying to tell us? That there is this bird, okay, it starts flying from the faster train. Okay, so now it is flying, and while this is flying, A must have already traveled some distance, right? A must have already traveled some distance. So A is here. Now bird reaches the slower train and now it turns around. Okay, now it turns around and it is moving towards the faster train. Now while the bird is flying, B must have already traveled some distance, right? Now B is here. Okay, so the bird comes here to the faster train and again turns around. Okay, and now the bird is flying. Again A must have already traveled some distance, so A is here. So it comes here, turns around. B must have already traveled some distance, so B here, again turns around. Now what happens is A and B now collide. Okay, A and B here collide with each other and the bird now stops flying. Okay, so what is the question is asking us? When the two trains collide, how far has the bird flown? So the question is asking us this distance, okay, which is from B it starts flying till A, then again till B. This entire part taken by the bird is what we have to find out. So let's call that distance D, distance traveled by the bird. That is what we have to find out. And so let's find out. Okay, so before moving forward, let's first calculate the relative speed here. Okay, so relative speed will be, these two trains are moving towards each other, right? And whenever two objects move towards each other, we get the sum of their speed in order to get the relative speed, right? So we'll do the same here. Here relative speed will be speed of train A 40 plus B, which is 60. So we get our relative speed, which is 100 kilometers per hour. Now from this information we have speed, we have distance. Okay, distance here is 100 kilometers because they are 100 kilometers apart. So from this information we can find out the time taken by both the trains to collide. Okay, and that will be the same time. This is the time t taken by both the trains to collide, and that will be the same time this bird has flown for, right? So let's first calculate that. We know that time is equals to distance upon speed. So we have distance, which is 100, divided by speed, which is 100. So we know that time taken is 1 hour, and it is the same time the bird has flown for, which is 1 hour. So bird has flown for 1 hour. So let's calculate the distance. Distance is equals to speed into time. Speed of the bird is 90. It has flown for 1 hour. So we get our answer, which is 90 kilometers. So we know distance traveled by the bird is 90 kilometers, and this is our required answer. So here option A is the correct one.